Then the next thing was Donald Goines. I guess you never read all those books. Donald Goines. It was hundreds of books on dealing drugs and all of that. There's no black in the county jail, San Francisco. There was no black books on freedom, liberation. All of it was on pimping and selling drugs and all that. Guess what? It worked. That's psychological warfare. They broke the back of the revolution. That's what they said in number 5. We have to develop, the final goal would be to prevent the long-range growth of black militant, black nationalist organizations, especially amongst the youth. Specific tactics to prevent these groups from converting young people must be developed. Then there's the one on counterintelligence program, internal security disruption of the new left. This is white boys, SDS, Students for a Democratic Society. It all says the same thing. You got to take pictures of them smoking weed, and you got to, arrest them and do different things so that they'll lose credibility. That's what they did. Okay, There's another part of this psychological warfare from the outside. The FBI and police use a myriad of dirty tricks to undermine progressive movements. They planted false media stories and published bogus leaflets in other publications in the name of targeted groups. They forged correspondence, sent anonymous letters, and made anonymous telephone calls. They spread misinformation about meetings and events. We may be having a program here on Friday night. They'll get a leaflet just like ours, and they'll spread it all over town. It'll say that meeting will be held. We're going to be here at 8 o'clock. It'll say it'll be at 8:30 or 8 o'clock at Masjid Muhammad. Right?
Wow.
And you put out 200 flyers and they'll put out 5,000. Where do you think people are going to go? They're going to go over there. They did this stuff all the time. So, if anyone thinks watching this that the black movement, black people just were stupid and got tired. No. What happened with black people, and all other people, the government already have these plans. These are the same plans that Pharaoh had. They're the same plans Hitler had. They're the same plans that notice they mentioned Mau Maus. The Mau Mau, they use the same thing on the Mau Maus in the 50s in Kenya. These counterintelligence programs are basically the same all over the world, throughout history. You ever saw Les Miserables?
I think I have.
You remember, the guy got rich, he was on the chain, not the chain gang, he became rich, the French guy, in about 1820, 1810.
Yes, it's been a while.
And they were going to have a revolution. Anyway, but the guy that committed suicide at the end was the old police that was on to everything. And that's the point, is that they've had police tactics all along. They've been basically the same. The point I want to make about our people is they were not bad people. The government didn't allow them time to learn, They were in the first grade, they were serious, they wanted to change the world, but the government, they were in the first grade, the government is in the 12th grade. They've been there all the time. So they know all the weaknesses of nascent groups. Any new group, they need people to help. So if they want to put a informer right up to the leader, all they got to do is the leader needs certain things done. So this guy hangs around, and pretty soon, anytime the leader has to go anywhere, this guy happens to have a car, and he happens to have a job where he can be there all the time, and he takes him where he wants. He carries his briefcase. Pretty soon, he's second in command.
Yeah.
Just like that. Plus, he's got his eye on the leader. This happens to literally every group, because some people got to go to work, they got to do all kinds of things. So it's easy to infiltrate an organization. Counterintelligence program. CIA Guerrilla Warfare Manual. I have stacks of this stuff, so I study it. But I just want to read a few things from the CIA manual. British Vietnam experience, mines and booby traps. This is a CIA manual, so it has stuff from all the specialists around the world. A tactical manual for the revolutionary that was published by the Central Intelligence Agency and distributed to the Contras in Central America. Combat arms urges gun owners in the United States to become very familiar with the contents of this manual and to discuss it among your family and friends. Liberty knows no peace. In other words, the revolutionary white folks got hold of this and they put it out, how the CIA acts. This conception of guerrilla warfare as political war turns psychological operations into the decisive factor of the results. The target then is the minds of the population. All the population, our troops, the enemy troops, and the civilian population. This is about psychological warfare. Or this is a guerrilla warfare manual. Some of the things it says. Our propaganda teams are formed through a careful selection of persuasive and highly motivated guerrillas who move about within the population, encouraging the people to support the guerrillas and to put up resistance against the enemy. Okay, it's telling the people what a real guerrilla do in order to combat a guerrilla. The development and control of front of facade organizations is carried out through subjective internal control of groups' meetings or inside cadres. The calculations of time for the fusion of these combined efforts to be applied to the masses. This is something we'd be familiar with. Control of meetings and mass assemblies. The development and control of the cover organizations in guerrilla warfare will give our movement the ability to create a whiplash effect within the population when the order for fusion is given, when the infiltration and internal subjective control has been developed in a manner parallel to other guerrilla activities. A commandante of ours will literally be able to shake up the Sandinista structure and replace it. The mass assemblies and meetings are the culmination of a wide-based support amongst the population, and it comes about in the latter phase of the operation. This is the moment in which the overthrow can be achieved and our revolution can become an open one, requiring the close collaboration of the entire population of the country and of contacts within their roots in reality. The tactical effort in guerrilla warfare is directed at the weakness of the enemy and at destroying their military resistance capacity, and should be parallel to the psychological effort to weaken and destroy their socio-political capacity. At the same time, in guerrilla warfare, more than in any other type of military effort, the psychological activities should be simultaneous with the military ones in order to achieve the objective. I have written up here 100% Iran, and I have the date 6 something or other 09. I don't know if you remember, that's when they tried to bring down the Iranian government in 2009, Ahmadinejad's government. It was mass media, and if you looked at the news, you would think Iran was crumbling. They had false Iranian groups killing people and putting it in the media and making it look like the Iranian government was doing it, but it was U.S. agents who were Iranians killing people like little kids and everything. And all of that. Remember, this is psychological warfare. The psychological warfare should be in harmony, right, with the physical revolution. And the people who are running this have to combine them perfectly, right, to make them move at a certain time, and they concentrate on the weaknesses of the target, not the strengths. If there's no weakness in it, which there's always weakness somewhere, they initiate and they make a weakness. If there's no lie there, they'll tell a lie. Like Mukhtar and them, all the stuff they said.
Just about to say that.
No, that's why I'm reading psychological stuff, because that's what we've had to deal with. Okay, all this stuff is long stuff, and guerrilla warfare, strategic models of guerrilla warfare. In other words, this is just one more I'll read now. Against is much easier than for. It is a principle of political science that it is easier to persuade the people to vote against something or someone than to persuade them to vote in favor of something or someone. Although currently the regime has not given Nicaraguan people the opportunity to vote, it is known that the people will vote in opposition so that the armed propaganda teams can cause this principle or use this principle in favor of our insurrectional struggle. They should ensure that this campaign is directed specifically against the government or its sympathizers, since the people should have specific targets for their frustration. So what they're saying is, what's true, it's easier to get people to go against something than it is to get them to go for something. So, if Khadijah and Mukhtar and the whole, remember, everybody at that time is on their team. All of them are United States government agents. So, when they come in telling a story, when I say, Brother Musa misuses of Masjid funds, I put the check, a copy of the check that I spent, I put that on the bulletin board. What did Mukhtar do? He wrote that Brother Musa misuse of Masjid funds. Well, I'm just sticking this on the thing to show people, now this is not Oakland's fund. This is They have absolutely no right to open their mouth about our fund in D.C. Nor do they ever even mention that in our khutbahs, we give khutbahs on how our funds are. There's lectures I have on it. Or if we're going to help somebody, we say, well, we're going to go on and empty our account, and I give people a copy of our account, and it says $581, and I tell everybody this is the lowest our account has ever been. Why? Because we gave one of our friends who was in need $25,000. It wasn't enough, so we gave him the other $25,000 in the account, right? But we told everybody what we're doing. Everybody understands. Everybody's for it. Okay, we build it back up. We're trying to get $1 million to help Imam Jamil and all of them. As soon as we got the $100,000, I gave a lecture here on 10% rule, that we're working toward $1 million. And I said, if you don't have nothing in the bank and you're talking about you want $1 million, it's a dream. It's a vision. It's way off. Let's talk. But once you get $100,000, hold it. You got some money. It's only 10% of it, but we consider when you get 10%. The rest is time. It's just when you'll get the 1 million. As soon as I gave that lecture, that's when these clowns started messing up in Oakland. And they took that money and they gave it to Mukhtar. They just gave it to Mukhtar. He don't have no right to it. He made a computer-generated letter, took it to the bank. The first bank of America he went to, they called me and said, this man is trying to go in your account. And I know that on the other account, you put him on the account. Now